Hello, and welcome to Haunted. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the bloodthirsty creatures of the night, the vampire. Vampires have been a staple in literature, folklore, movies for generations, but where did these creatures come from? Today, we're going to unearth the dark and ancient history of them. Our journey begins at the start of civilization, Mesopotamia, a land that dates back to the 3rd millennia BCE. Nestled between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, this ancient region was a birthplace to many ancient myths and legends, including the earliest traces of vampire-like creatures. In this sprawling and fertile land, where great cities like Babylon once stood, the people told tales of supernatural beings. Among these stories were those of the Lilitu, which is a term that bears a striking resemblance to modern vampires. But the Lilitu were far from the suave and charismatic vampires we have today. Instead, they were depicted as dark and malevolent spirits, twisted individuals who wandered the night. Mesopotamia texts, inscribed on cuneiform tablets, spoke of these creatures as harbingers of misfortune, often associated with sickness, death, and a sense of foreboding. The Mesopotamians believed that the Lilitu would descend on unsuspecting victims, draining them of life, much like the vampires we know today. They were seen as the embodiment of fear, a nocturnal terror that haunted the minds of these ancient people. To protect themselves from these malevolent spirits, the Mesopotamians crafted amulets and charms inscribed with incantations that they believed would protect them in the night. This practice, in a way, reflects our fascination with vampire lore and the various methods to repel or defeat vampires in modern mythology, like wooden stakes or holy water. Moving forward, we find ourselves in the realm of ancient Greece. Here, stories of the Lamia and the Empusa take center stage, fueling the fear of vampiric entities that preyed on unsuspecting victims. The Lamia were a fearsome creature with a tantalizing yet fearsome allure. Often depicted as beautiful women, the Lamia would conceal her dark intentions under a captivating exterior. She was believed to lure young men to devour or steal their souls. To me, the Lamia's name echoes vampire. Her existence was intertwined with the fear of succumbing to temptation and being consumed by dark desires. A similar entity known as the Empusa further fueled the fear of vampires. The Empusa was a shape-shifting demon who had a particular penchant for dining on human blood. Her name is Greek for one-footed, while she was believed to have one leg of bronze and the other of donkey, which, this unique appearance definitely added to the fear of being devoured by an otherworldly creature. The stories of the Lamia and the Empusa were a reflection of the ancient people's understanding of the dangers of temptation and seduction. These tales were a cautionary reminder to resist the forbidden, as giving in would lead to a fate as worse as death, or so they say. These stories lived on, mingling with other beliefs and superstitions. They helped shape and add on more layers to what we consider vampires are today. We carry with us these tales of seductive and malevolent creatures, entities that not only reflect human fear of the unknown, but also giving a glimpse into the vampire mythology. In Eastern Europe, where the landscape of this region is steeped in folklore and mystery, providing a perfect backdrop for the emergence of these creatures, with remote villages and ancient forests and centuries-old superstition serving as a fertile ground to propagate and just grow the vampire lore. Here, where we heard of the names the Upir or the Strigoi, where they made their way into ancient superstitions. The vampire folklore in Eastern Europe was not just contained to mere folklore, but it helped build a part of this ancient culture. The region's ancient architecture, with its imposing castles and its eerie ruins, seemed to echo with tales of nocturnal fiends. In the 15th century, a prominent figure emerged and became intertwined with the vampire mythos. His name was Vlad the Impaler, known for his brutal and sadistic torture and murder method, where he would drive a stake and impale them and put them on display. That's where he gained the moniker Dracula. His method of impaling these people definitely left a chilling impression and contributed to the vampire legends. The transition of these historical events to the creation of the vampires we know today was gradual. It wasn't until the 18th century that literature would shape the vampire into a charismatic and sinister figure that serves as the archetype today. In this period, marked by the rise of Gothic literature, we encounter John Polidori's The Vampire, a novella which introduced Lord Ruthven, who was a seductive and mysterious figure, charming on the surface but concealed a sinister nature inside. Yet it was Bram Stoker's Dracula, published in 1897, that would redefine the vampire into popular imagination. Drawing from Eastern European folklore and the historical figure Vlad the Impaler, Stoker wove a narrative that brought the vampire into modern era. Dracula marked a turning point into the portrayal of vampires, leading to numerous adaptations in literature and film. The vampire had transitioned to a complex, charismatic, and immortal character, setting the stage for countless vampire stories that would follow. The echoes of Eastern European vampire legends, coupled with the novels, has left a mark on our perception of vampires, embracing the allure of immortality and the darkness that dwells within. While in the 20th century, which saw a significant transformation of vampires, they became complex and sometimes even sympathetic characters. Notable films like Nosferatu or Interview with a Vampire or Twilight, most importantly, Blade. These films showcase the diverse range of what vampires became. But there were a few scientific theories on why the vampires became shaped into what they are today. Things like porphyria, which is a rare genetic disorder that is believed to help shape what vampires are. Its symptoms consisted of sometimes a sensitivity to light, and that's why vampires can't go out in the sun. As we stated before, vampires are a metaphor for the forbidden desires that many seek, often exploring themes of sexuality, power, and addiction. Vampires have endured through time because they represent our fascination with the unknown, our desire to explore the boundaries between life and death, and the allure of immortality. So, if you found this exploration into the origins of vampires as captivating as I did, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the little bell icon to be notified for more content. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the vampire origins, its history, and its effect on modern culture. Or if you just have a topic that you would like me to discuss, just leave it there too. I'll be happy to take a look at it. Thank you, and see you in the next video.